Okay, so you guys, I'm going to be talking about Bobby Newman. He is a board certified behavioral analyst. He has his doctorate, and he is a licensed psychologist. A brief introduction. He was born on August 14th, 1967. He has written over 2 dozen books and journals, articles. Like I said, he's a psychologist. He has his doctorate. He is the Proud Moments Executive Director of Clinical Services. And he is the Clinical Services Director at Room to Grow. And he was the 2016 For Those Who Would Humanitarian Award finalist. Some personal and professional accolades. Like I said, he is the Clinical Services Director currently, and he got that position in 1994. That's been a while. I was like 2 years old in 94. He also simultaneously serves as the Executive Director of Clinical Services at Proud Moments. So those are 2 really big jobs that he's doing all at the same time. And as I said before, he was a finalist in 2016 for Those Who Would, which is a really big award. Some more personal and professional accolades. He was the Autism Professional of the Year for New York for families and autistic children in 1999. He was a representative at large for New York State Association of Behavioral Analysts from 2017 to 2019. I think when this came out, I'm not sure if they had voted yet. And he is a 6-time New York Marathon contributor. He says that he is very small, so he's not very fast, but he is he endures to the end. He also teaches CPI to parents of children with ASD, and he's a personal trainer. And I thought this was really interesting. He's a co-founder of the Cup Cafe, which serves free trade coffee, and this cafe is entirely staffed by developmentally challenged individuals. So he really practices what he teaches, like on all ends of the spectrum. 5 noteworthy sources. I'll just let you guys kind of skim over this. And with these, he was the first author, or as you can see with the third source, the only author on all of these that I used to get this information. So diving deeper into those 5 sources that I just showed you, the first one is a reasonable attempt reasonable? Shaping versus reinforcing verbal attempts with preschoolers with autism. This was published in 2009. And basically, he was looking into teaching preschoolers with autism about acquiring language, better language skills. And they used 2 methods, and that was shaping or reasonable attempts. And the Reinach name you'll see a lot, and I'll give you a little fun fact about that name in a minute. For my second source, This was published in 1991. We used 2 subjects, again, with autism. And the results were all humans, ASD or otherwise, are susceptible to failure without adequate instructions. I thought that was interesting. A lot of times, researchers, they're only going to use a certain population, whether it be the MR population, autistic population, but I've rarely heard of, especially people in ABA, using normal people or college age people. He's used college age people as well. So that was really interesting. And the fact that he included that in his results, saying that everybody, ASD or otherwise, are susceptible to failure. The effects of magnitude and scheduled reinforcement on instruction following in human subjects with verbal and nonverbal instructions. This was published in 1997. He was the only researcher with this one. This was his dissertation. And like I said, he used college-aged kids with this one, as well as subjects with autism. And the results, reinforcement on a continuous schedule. Subjects noticed they were more sensitive to any kind of changes. And this was kind of like the outlier in all of his works that I saw. While he does say that he works with those who have sexual dysfunctions, this was the only research that I was able to find about it. So I found that very interesting, so I just had to include it. Again, he was the only researcher on this project. And with the D. Reinbeck name, I thought we were going to, oh, here she is. That is his wife. And I found that so very interesting because she didn't change her last name to Newman. And I recently got married and I decided not to change my last name. So I just thought it was interesting that she does so much work with him. And she's the other BC, she's the other BCABA in his Room to Grow business, and she did not change her last name. So I just thought it was very feminist, very empowering that she's on so much of his work and kept her maiden name. And this is a very controversial work of his, and it's Why Be Moral, and it's basically saying that we know that we're supposed to do the right thing, but we don't know why. And the results of that were that people are either moral because they believe in God or a deity, or they're moral and they're unclear as to why. Interviewing Dr. Newman. If I could interview Dr. Newman, I would ask him these 5 things. There's little known about your personal life. Could you give us a little preview or insight on the personal side of Dr. Newman? Is there any new research topics that have piqued your interest as of late? We haven't really heard anything new since like 2009. What advice can you offer students who are just getting into the ABA field? What drew you into the ABA field? How did you get your start? And you have a lighthearted nickname, the Dark Overlord of ABA. How did that come about? ABA without Bobby Newman. ABA what? I'm confused. Another confused face. And just another meme. So I put this because the question was, why is this work important? And I felt like it was more important to what I was really being asked is why, where would ABA be without this person's work? Dr. Newman, the majority of his career is dedicated to autism or people with autism, but a lot of his majority of his work can be spanned across all of ABA. He still has a practice. He still sees clients. He still works with families, parents, caregivers. He teaches them CPI techniques. He practices what he preaches with his cup of coffee, the cup cafe. He not only that, he lectures across the world. He's been to Ireland, Japan. He does Facebook Live, talks. And he also, in my research, I saw that he also has like a sign up where you can email him about your supervision hours. If that is not keeping your hand or keeping your pulse on what's new in ABA, I don't know what is. And that's important because you're shaping or molding new behavior analysts. So without Bobby Newman and ABA, both past, present, and future, I don't know what ABA would be like. And I don't know, like across all of ABA. It's kind of crazy to think about that one person has like so much to do with ABA. So I asked the question, ABA without Bobby Newman? It's impossible to imagine. Well, that is it. Thanks, guys.